that if you're looking for motorcycle content on this one, this isn't going to be the video. I'm going to do a little work on my truck today. The fuel pump has been giving me shit on this thing. So I decided that before I do the supercharger on it, I would upgrade the fuel pump a little bit. And I bought a SRT10 pump. It just flows a little more fuel. So that's the replacement I'm going to stick in today. But I got to pull the box off my truck to do it. It only takes like 45 minutes to get the box off of it, and then I'll just lift it up with the fork truck. But I thought it might be something kind of cool to just add to the channel. I do a little bit of everything. The bikes are my passion, but my truck is the other thing I'm usually working on quite a bit. Sort of my little daily driver, hot rod, if you will. I can't afford a collector car, so I drive a tow pig. So tag along while I get this project done today. So here's said new fuel pump, and right now I'm going to get ready to pull the box off, get the tonneau cover rolled up. I got to pull the taillights and stuff out, pull the wiring out. It's not a big deal. There's two little harnesses that go up, they just drop down. And then undo the filler neck, and then there's 6 bolts total. Unbolt it, I'll lift it straight up with the fork truck, and then pump is just kind of like right up in this area. So shouldn't take too long, but we'll check the clock right now. It is a 10:15. So we'll get started and we'll see how long this takes. This is the third time I've had to do this, but the truck's got 315,000 miles on it, so no big deal. I needed it upgraded anyways, so let's get rolling. Okay, so I'm into it a little ways here. I got the back wheels off because eventually I'll lift the box up and then I'll just move it straight back. And with the wheels off, I don't have to lift it up as high. So it's only got to come up high enough for that box side to just clear that rotor. But the biggest struggle I just had right now was getting my exhaust tip out of the side of the truck. That exhaust sticks out of there a little bit, so I got to get that off to lift the box up. Well, that tip there was stuck on there, and I just spent whatever, looks like, I don't know, 45 minutes messing around with just that exhaust tip. But anyway, now I can go ahead and I just got to get the bolts off, the 6 bolts, and then I'm ready to lift the thing up and put the pump in. So hopefully that goes a little smoother. So the last bolt I got to get is that one up in there, and because of the way the frame is set here, this is where the old factory hitch used to be. I can't get in there with a swivel extension even, or a swivel and an extension. Just too much of an angle, so I have to hand ratchet these out. Thankfully I use anti-seize when I put the stuff all back together. So this should come out pretty easy, but it is pretty tight, so we'll get going on this now. First, let me apologize for the fan noise. It's hot in here and I'm dying. But anyway, after a little bit of struggling to get the lift point centered so it picked the box up straight, which is actually like a lot farther to the rear than I was expecting from the last time I did it. I guess tailgate's got quite a bit of weight to it, but I just don't remember it being back that far. But anyway, everything's disconnected, box is up. Now we just got to dig in and get right in there. There's the fuel pump. So I'll pull that cover off and get that stuff all cleaned up before I pop it open, and we'll get the new pump in. So I blew all the crap out of here, and then the fuel pump has this locking ring, and basically you just take and get into these little holes here and just take a chisel and a hammer and you knock the ring that way and it comes out from under these tabs. So this one's already, I just broke it loose and I'll spin it out and then pull the fuel pump out. All right, so just going through, looking to see, make sure everything's kind of the same. This pump is for an SRT 10 ram, so it actually, it flows a little more fuel than what a stock replacement for a Hemi would do. And I figure if that's gonna support a V10, like 500 and some horse, it'll support my little 7 PSI supercharger project on my truck. So I'm just kind of double checking, making sure float's the same, connector's the same. Generally everything should kind of just fall back in place. I noticed a few small differences down in the pump assembly itself, but everything still makes sense to both of them. They just did it different between the two. It must be just different manufacturers or just a different year that the trucks were out or whatever, but that should be just fine. So we'll go ahead and slam this guy home and then get the thing put back together. I'm gonna take this locking ring and go clean it up a little bit. It's been on here a little while, it's just getting kind of crispy. Still got integrity, it's just, you know, it's got rust scale on it. So I'm gonna go clean this up quick before I put it all back together. Okay, new pump is in, lock ring is on. I guess that would be a dust cover, dirt cover kind of thing. Clean that up, put that back on. Got the evap system hose back in and pump is plugged in. Now I'm going to go ahead and start this thing and make sure it's going to even run with this deal. So let's fire it up, I guess. Well, the stressful part is done. The box is back sitting in place. I got bolted on, and then just wrap up the little details, put taillights back in and stuff, and then drive this thing out of here. There it is, all done back together. I got to pull it out and sweep up my mess I made here. I was kind of rattling the frame and knocking rust and chunk off and cleaning stuff up. But got the exhaust tip back on, and that'll come off a lot easier next time, I promise you that. Obviously wheels are back on, tail lights are back in. Did a quick light check. Got the fuel door back on, or the filler neck back on, I should say. The door was always on there. Everything's buttoned up and ready to go. I put all my crap back in the bed. So now it's time to go hit the car wash and get some tacos. So I decided to stop at Taco Bell because I love Taco Bell, and all the other taco places, like the authentic stuff, you know, the real good sit-down stuff, it's all like carry-out only now, and I'm not going to sit inside on a beautiful day, so I hit the Taco Bell drive-thru. And if you go to Taco Bell and you don't get Baja Blast, you're wrong, and you should be sent back to whatever non-Baja Blast heaven country you came from. Always start with the wheel and tire cleaner. That'll work. Ow! Clean truck time. There she is, all done. All back together and cleaned up. This truck is the one thing that I would keep if I sold or got rid of everything else in my life. I'd keep this truck. I bought it about 10 years ago with 100,000 miles on it. It's got 310 on it right now. I'm actually at 200,000. I had a motor put in it. The old motor was just starting to make a little bit of a rattle I wasn't happy with, and I didn't want to be stranded somewhere towing the trailer, so I went ahead and did that. Got a McGaughy's 2-inch spindles and Beltec 2-inch springs in the front, and then the rear is a flip kit with Beltec shackles, and then it's got a Beltec rear sway bar in it too, which helped a ton. This thing, for being a big old 4-door truck, it handles like a dream. It rides a little rough, but it handles awesome. I did a airbag kit and a frame notch in it myself, so the airbags in the back, they're load bags for towing, so the truck will sit level still. But I used what the hell was it? Freightliner cab air ride bags for the back. So if you look in there, you see they're Firestone bags. And then I made that mount and everything myself, and it's got an onboard compressor and then a dump valve, so I can fill or dump the air while I'm driving. I actually bought a supercharger for this thing about 3 months ago, and that supercharger is still sitting in the box. I've had zero time with all the bike stuff to get around to putting it on the truck, but I'm hoping that within the next couple months I'll get around to doing it, because I'll have a place to do it. The exhaust I did, it's just 3-inch stainless all the way back to a Flowmaster, and then I did the exhaust trim ring and just a little Flowmaster tip out the side. Did the roll pan. I made that hitch so that hitch actually would have been lower and out farther, but I bought a hitch and then modified it so that it stuck just below the license plate. I didn't want to do the flip plate deal. I made the hitch plug too, a little Mopar logo, but yeah, for you know, over 300,000 miles on this thing, I love it. It's been everywhere between Wisconsin and Florida and a little bit east and west of the Mississippi, both ways. And oddly enough, it still gets about 20, almost 22 miles a gallon rolling down the freeway. So hopefully you enjoyed my little fuel pump project today, but next video we'll be back to fabbing some motorcycle stuff. So remember guys, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.